Hello and welcome to the APMA podcast. I'm back. Just me. Just me. Don't switch off yet. Please. Please. I promise it'll be... Well, I can't promise it'll be a good episode. But it'll be good for me. I'm just going to be talking about stuff from my childhood. So, not that deep. Look, I'm not about to reveal that I got molested, okay? But if it keeps you in, maybe an uncle had a feel. I don't know. Wow, I've just derailed the pod straight away. This is why I'm not allowed to do a lot of pods by myself. Well, I am. I'm totally in control of that, so that's a complete lie. Jordan, I think he might be busy this evening. I'm filming this on a Thursday, as we normally would, but during the day. And Dan is in York, so that would be rather difficult for him to join the podcast. So you got me, all right? You got me. We're talking about nostalgic games and toys because I like a good trip down memory lane. And I thought, let's go. Let's not talk about video games because I do that enough. Let's talk about actual toys and games and see what everyone sort of had and liked and maybe disliked. And when I say everyone, I say me. That's what I mean. So I've got a list of like 50. We'll see how many we get through. It's not a list compiled by me. I will give the credit to Bored Panda. There you go. Don't sue me. I'm using your article and I'm using the images you provided in the article. Go fuck yourself. But yeah, so I want everyone who's listening and watching, if you can comment, please do. Let us know, or let me know, what your favourite nostalgic toy was. You know, we've got Tamagotchi on this list. We've got some board games. There's a lot of stuff. A Game Boy. I mean, that technically is a video game, so it's a technicality, all right? It's on the list. I didn't make the list. I just agree with it, all right? But yeah, so I think, without further ado, we'll just get straight in to the list. The first one, I've played with this, but I don't think it's a 90s toy, so it must have been a parent's toy, or maybe even, no, I wouldn't be grandparents. But yeah, it's a waterfall ring toss, basically, for the audio listeners. I will try the best I can to describe things to you. I know it's not always easy for me, because I'm basically borderline retarded. Drop the R word in. That's what you want. It is essentially a box with water or liquid in it, and then it's got little hoops that when you press a button on the outside, it sends air into the water, and the hoops kind of like fly around, and you've got to hook them on these little latches or little hooks, and that's the entire game. That's it. Waterfall ring toss is what it's called. I did play with this back in the day, but it was never a toy when I was like growing up. It was clearly well used when I used it, but they probably one of the most infuriating games to play. Along with, you know, you got that little fucking disc of plastic that had like a maze almost in it, and you had to get the little fucking pellet silver bastard ball, and you had to get it from like one point to the other. That would just fuck me off. I'd end up just fucking throwing the thing against the wall. I had anger issues, you know, sort them out now, mostly. But yeah, I tell you what, that would be a test right now. If you gave me that game right now, that little one with the ball bearing in it, I don't know. I reckon I'll start swinging after about 3 minutes, trying to get that fucking ball into that shitty hole. But yeah, waterfall ring toss. I did play that back in the day. But I can't remember really enjoying it that much, which is probably why I just didn't play it after about 3 or 4 times. Because as much as I like to think there's strategy in it, I do not employ any strategy. I literally pump the fuck out of that button until the rings are on the hooks, or I give up. There's no There's no tactics involved for me. But yeah, that's number one. Again, let us know if you've used any of these toys or had any of them. Used kind of sounds weird. Played with is used sounds like it's a tool. It's not a tool. It's a toy. It's a toy. Next one, Etch-a-Sketch. I've never actually had an Etch-a-Sketch. I think my sister had something similar, but it wasn't. It wasn't an Etch-a-Sketch. That was like off-brand. Probably like a fucking Skeeper sketch. Skeeper sketch? Cheaper sketch. Very, again, like, I feel like you have to be, not that you have to have tactics, but you have to be artistic to use an Etch-a-Sketch. Like, I would be amazed if I could just draw a fucking square. I'd be like, fucking brilliant, let's go. I'd draw a square, put a couple of holes in it. If I could somehow do some sort of, that would be intricate, actually. I was going to sort of possibly say about drawing SpongeBob, but that just seems infinitely worse. How do you fucking draw a circle on an Etch-a-Sketch? That's some fucking shit right there. But on this example, I don't know what that is. Is it Saint? Oh, I don't know. Saint Peters? No, it's not Saint Petersburg. What's the place in Russia? Is it Saint Petersburg? It's annoying. It's annoying. Right. I swear it looks like the Russian like capital, which is Moscow, but I don't know what that building is on it. But yeah, it looks like that. It looks like that. And there's absolutely no way I'd be getting anywhere near that. To be honest, that is pretty pristine. So yeah, Etch-a-Sketch. Do I rate it? Can't really say I've had a lot of, experience with it. I'm not artistic really at all. Like, if you give me a paintbrush or a pencil, I'm basically drawing stickmen. That's the limit. That is the limit and the ceiling to my artistic performance. But yeah, I know it's a lot of people got a lot of love for Etch-a-Sketches. Fair play. Let's go fishing. Now, I think I vaguely remember this game. I mean, clearly, and I am actually, quite shocked it's not on this list. Hungry Hippos is by far superior to Let's Go Fishing. Let's Go Fishing, I mean, it literally is about as self-explanatory as it gets. You got these fucking fishing rods, and you got to try and catch the fish on the rods, and that's it. I think they like bobble around and shit, if I remember rightly. I can't remember, but Hungry Hippos was where it's at, because you just twat the fuck out of the bun, just like slamming it until you gobble up all the balls. You know what I mean? That is as alpha as a game gets. I don't need all this shit, but I'm fucking gonna do it, because I'm gonna win against you, you prick. I was older than my sister, and that's the mentality. I was older. I still am, twat. Yeah, so that was my mentality. Beat the living fuck out of her in a game. I didn't beat her up. Alright? There was a couple of times there. No, I didn't beat her up. Didn't beat her up. Funnily enough, we did used to play a game, right? A game we totally made up. I can't even remember the name of it. But my mum had this awful, awful orange sofa. Disgusting. Like, I'm trying to describe what orange it was. And because it was several years old at the time we started developing this masterpiece of a game, the orange had started to go like a bit a brownie tinge to the orange. So it was probably like a half decent orange to start off with. But I'm trying to find an orange colour that would, or a shade of orange that you'd be able to see and go, ah, right. But anyway, it was orange. It started going a bit browny, right? And it's one of those sofas you could take the side cushions off, the ones next to the armrest. And they're a weird shape, like almost like a rhombus. Shout out to rhombuses, yeah? Not enough people give rhombus, the shape the rhombus, enough credit. Right. We used to pick two, like one each, go either end diagonally of the living room and just run into each other, trying to smack the other person over. What a great, great game. And me being 2 years older than my sister, I was like pretty much just, sending her, yeeting her across the room. Concussed, and I don't know, a couple of times. The problem is, when we were doing it, there was a fireplace at my mum's where it's not exactly the same anymore, because I think they've extended the kind of plinth or the platform that the wood burner is now on. But there's a fireplace, and it's like jagged stone. So it probably wasn't the best idea to be, twatting my sister across the room, possibly into jagged stone. But, we were young. We were playing games. We expressing our artistic, what is it, artistic merits in creating a game. It was no rules apart from just run into each other and see who ends up in hospital. And most of the time it wasn't me. So that's it. That was the 2-year advantage I had. But anyway, let's go fishing. Inferior to Hungry Hippos, but I do remember it. Now, these bouncy balls. Oh! You used to get them, sometimes you got them in, like those things at supermarkets. You put like 20p in. I mean, most of the time it would just eat the 20p and not give you a fucking bouncy ball. But you remember you used to have to like twist it like 15 times to get the 20p to fall into the coin, kind of like, I guess, like the coin bucket in the machine. And then it would send out like a plastic ball with a toy inside. And you had the ones where you could choose what toy you had, and then you had the other ones, often the cheaper option, that would just give you a random one. But I remember getting a couple of bouncy balls from one of those. And, excuse me, that's what you come here for. It's really what you come here for. But yeah, I remember getting one from a local supermarket that I think is now Morrison's. It wasn't, though, back in the day. Maybe Rainbow? What happened to them? Oh, fucking hell. Brings back some memories. But anyway, I got a bouncy ball, or a couple from them, at the machine at Rainbow, right? And the car park is just pretty much my canvas at this point to launch a bouncy ball as high as I possibly can. But when I say I actually launch it at the floor to make it go as high as possible. So, yeah, it's give me, like, if I could be a fly on the wall of my previous self in a supermarket with my mum, I would have thought that, I can't remember exactly when I got the bouncy ball, but I bet you any money it was when we were leaving. There's no way she would have allowed me to carry a bouncy ball into the shop whilst I was doing while she was doing shopping and I was with her, because I'd be twatting it off every surface possible. No holes barred. I'd be bouncing it into the ceiling. I mean, I'll probably lose it within a couple of minutes, but that's why you get multiple, You mitigate the losses. Even as a child, like, I'm going to fucking lose this. Let me buy 5, Mum. But yeah, bouncy balls. They're a winner, really. You don't really lose unless you ain't got arms. If you're armless, it's a lose-lose. But then you got feet. Some people, it's a bit weird to do it in public, I suppose, but you got feet. Get it clasp it in your toes. Anything's possible. Just use your mind, If you're in a wheelchair, that's hard. But it's still possible. And it's the joy, I feel, is not really you doing the throwing, but seeing how far it will go. So even if you just got someone to launch it for you, it's just nice to see the ball go high. Very basic sort of levels of happiness and pleasure, I feel, for me, Just seeing a ball go high. It's like, does this get any better? Does life get any better than this? I'm witnessing a piece of plastic launched into the sky from throwing it on the floor. I don't understand. Does it get any better? It really doesn't. It really doesn't. I don't know if I've told this story before. I might have done. But just because I was talking about going to the shop to get the balls, the bouncy balls, it reminds me of a time that I went into a toy shop, and I don't remember what it was called. I think it was down the local high street, I think. Or it might have been in the nearest town, which is Yarmouth. It might have been. I can't remember. All I remember is that I was absolutely adamant that I was not leaving that store without getting Lego. And I think I wanted a Star Wars Lego set. Right, it wasn't a big one. I weren't asking for like the fucking, Millennium Falcon. All right, I weren't asking for that. Maybe just like, I don't know, like a speed bike or something like that, with a trooper on it, a stormtrooper on it, or something like that. Weren't big. I don't think it was a big ask, But my mum said no. So, me being the little bratty twat I was, that enraged me. I was like, you're going to fucking do this to me right now? And then she offered the olive branch of Mega Bloks. And that's unforgivable. That is like offering me a nice, like, lasagna, right? Or maybe rumouring the chance that it might be lasagna for tea, right? And then you give me mashed potato and sausages. I mean, it's still food. Bangs and mash, staple of Britain. It's not a lasagna, though. It's not a lasagna. They're not the same. They're literally not the same. It doesn't matter which way you cut it. Mega Bloks is not the same as Lego. But my mum would not let it go that they are the same thing. So I did what any self-respecting child would do. I launched myself on the ground, I screamed like a twat, and I brought the fucking walls down. I screamed. I was literally like, fucking, I gave the performance of my life in that shop. And it was that good. The performance was that good that I don't even remember if I got Lego or not, because it didn't matter. I just put on a great show for everyone in that shop. And my mum was furious. Absolutely furious. I remember it was either outside the shop or there was a lift or something we had to go into, and she launched into me. Like, launched into elbows and everything. 12 to 6, straight in the cranium. She didn't really. But she did shout at me a lot, which I feel was unwarranted. I only embarrassed her in front of a whole shop of people. And I felt I was just, Mega Bloks, just fuck off. Okay? Just fuck off. I'm not having I will not have Mega Bloks in my toy collection. Not happening. You know what I mean? Maybe it is a bit elitist. Maybe it is a bit, born with a silver spoon in your mouth. I mean, I wasn't. But I just felt like that was my right to Lego. And she was denying me that right. It's just not fair. It wasn't fair. It still is not. So my mum still owes me Lego, basically. But yeah, I don't know if I've told that story before. I don't even know if my mum remembers. I bet she does. I bet she, at that point in time, she's like, wow, should have worn a condom. And I couldn't agree more. Especially if you're going to treat your kid like that and don't get him fucking Lego and offer him Mega Bloks as a fucking olive branch. Fuck that shit. Anyway, fashion plates. What the fuck is this? Now, I don't want to sound like, 2010 here. I don't know why I said 2010. It's not even from 2010. But I don't want to sound, too boomerish, but this looks very much like a sort of feminine, girly toy. I'm guessing you, get a bit of paper and you go over stuff. Like, there's an outline of a woman. You can change like the hat, the pose, the dress, and you get a bit of paper and like just scribble over it, so you get the picture of the outline on the paper. I don't know. Never played it. Never even seen my sister have this, so I don't know much about that. That one can fuck right off. Oh, Viewmasters. I do remember having Viewmasters. They're sick. If you don't know what a Viewmaster is, it's like a really, really shit pair of binoculars, but they don't do what binoculars do. They don't magnify like the scene in front of you. You have like a plastic disc with little film inserts in it, and you pop it into the top of the Viewmaster, and it's like a sort of bit of film really, and you press a button on the side and it spins it round, so you can play out like an animation. That's what I used them for, which was cool. You got like loads of different ones. They did like Disney ones, I think, at some point. But yeah, they were cool. At a time where, I mean, I probably could have just watched TV. Again, I don't think they're really from originally the 90s. I think they're probably more of an 80s thing. But they were laying around. I got a couple of packs of the little film disc things. Give you something a bit more interesting to watch rather than the same things over and over again. But they were cool. They were cool. I did rate them. Let us know if you've ever seen a Viewmaster. I know some of our viewers probably, well, quite a lot of our viewers are, I would say, right towards the end of millennial. Like me, I think I'm like the last couple of years of the cut-off point of being a millennial. So then the next Gen Z, I want to say. Might be wrong. So there's probably quite a few Gen Zers going, what the fuck is this? What is this shit? Oh, Game Boys. Oh my god, the amount of time I have launched into a Game Boy. This is the weird thing about the original Game Boy. I had the original one. When I say the original one, not the first one that came out, alright? Because again, I was born in 94. I think the Game Boy came out in the late 80s or early 90s. But I remember I had a black and white screen. No colour. You didn't even have backlit screens then. So you had to make sure you went and played this somewhere with plenty of light. Because if you didn't, you couldn't you couldn't even tell what was going on. Not a clue. So they did later bring out like an adapter that would go into it. It had a light that kind of had on like a bendy thing that went over the screen. That's how, dedicated people were to Game Boys. They realised that you couldn't see anything, especially if you're playing like dark, if you're playing at night or you're in a dark room. They actually released for the later models of the Game Boy that still weren't backlit, they released a light that you could plug in. But weirdly, Super Mario, like Super Mario Land, I do remember having that game, but I've never ever been a fan of the Mario games, Mario Brothers games. Just never have been. The only game I really religiously played on my Game Boy was Pokemon Blue, and I think I had Pokemon Red, but that was later on. I think I originally had Pokemon Blue. That was the go-to, like every single time, firing up the Game Boy, straight into Pokemon Blue. And I think it was, you put 2 AA or 2 AAA batteries in it to obviously make it function. I think it gave you about 30-ish hours of play, which, fuck me. The rate I played it, I was needing stocks and shares in fucking Duracell. I was going through batteries like fucking nothing else. But yeah, great memories. Game Boy's quality. I think that's Nintendo are, famous for their, like, revolutionary consoles. And the Game Boy really launched gaming for me. That's the first thing I'd done. like gaming wise. I had a Game Boy first, then I had PlayStation 1, then I had PlayStation 2. So yeah, Game Boy was like the first dip of the toe into gaming, and I feel like that's probably the same for a lot of people. Um, so yeah, I've got a lot of time for Game Boys, a lot of time, and I've had many Game Boys in my life. I've had the Game Boy Color, the purple one. I had the Crystal original Game Boy. Had you could see all the components inside. To be honest, I never really understood why that became a craze, and it's come back in again to a certain extent. But I've had so many things like that. I've had phones like that. I had an old Nokia phone where it was clear and you could see the components inside. I had the Xbox Crystal, that the original Xbox console. That was a thing. I don't know why that suddenly became cool. I mean, it is to a certain extent, it is quite cool to see the components inside. But as a kid, you don't give a fuck. You're just like, does it play? Yeah, sick. Yeah, I had a Game Boy Advance as well, which was the weird kind of rectangle. What they did with the Advance is they got a regular Game Boy, turned it on its side, and put extra buttons on it. You know, with the little ergonomic cutouts for your fingers to rest. But yeah, there's been so many iterations of Game Boys, and a lot of people had the DSs. I think I had one DS, but I never really played it that much. My sister absolutely fucking bummed a DS. Nintendox, I think that was the game that everyone played on there, and that fucking brain training game that you always got for free with the bundles. But yeah, Game Boy, very good memories with the Game Boy, and I do that time my mum did smash it out of the park with a Game Boy. I will give her that. Known Mega Block. Maybe she learnt from the Mega Block scenario. Maybe she learnt that this is the way to go. Get him the genuine shit, get him the good stuff, and he'll be all right. Light Bright. I've never heard of this. Anyone watching or listening will have to let me know if you have actually ever seen or done one of these. It looks like basically you put like LEDs, like bulbs, or like something plastic. I'm guessing actually it's probably more likely they're just like plastic beads, coloured ones that you push into the frame in a pattern that makes a shape or a scene, and then there's just white light that's shone through all of the... I don't know. That's what it looks like. I mean, in this picture, there's what I imagine to be a reindeer something. But, yeah, I've never actually seen these. This looks like the sort of thing that my sister would have liked. Hundreds of colour glow pegs in 8 different colours. There you go. Don't know much about that. I'll tell you what, fucking this next one. Polly Pockets. My sister fucking loved Polly Pockets. I never really understood them. I still don't. Like, I'm looking at this picture and I don't understand what is the toy aspect. I mean, it's a shell, right? I think it's a shell. It opens up. There's a scene inside. There's another shell. If you open the shell inside the shell, there's a little gem. And then there's Polly in there, standing in the corner. There's a seat for Polly to sit in. But other than that, I've got fucking no idea what the toy aspect is. I don't understand. Like, what is there to actually do with a Polly Pocket? I mean, me being the selfish twat I would have more fun launching the Polly Pocket at the wall and then watching it break and then my sister cry. But that was a different time. Mean, I know. I totally understand it's mean. But it was funny. But yeah, I never understood Polly Pockets. Maybe that's why, as a kid, I had that, that forethought. I was like, this toy is so meaningless. I'm going to remove it from your life for you. You know, as a loving brother, I will smash the fuck out of your Polly Pocket in front of you, so you can realise too that it's a shit toy, and you should get something else. Maybe that's just speculating. Maybe that's what I was, thought process. Maybe that's what it was. What is this? Is that like a fake doctor's kit? I think my sister might have had one of these. I do remember having the fake blood pressure thing. You wrapped it around your arm, and there's like a squeezy pump thing at the end, and you saw the needle go up. Yeah, the fake syringe, the hammer, and the stethoscope. I do remember. I definitely didn't have it, so it must have been my sister who had this. Yeah. Well, it's such a weird concept for a kit, like for a toy as well. Like, such a weird concept. Oh, shall we make a toy version of what medical professionals use and then sell it because kids will have great fun with it? Doesn't make sense, does it? But it obviously sold pretty well. I'd imagine for it to be, this mainstream on the list. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe my sister was the only one who fucking had a kit. I don't know. But yeah, I do remember it. Again, most of it was just used on my behalf for just smacking shit with. I'm not particularly great as a kid with toys that I didn't understand. Why have you got a doctor's kit? I know. I'll smack shit out of it. Give me the hammer. I'll go and smack something with it. Give me the stethoscope. I'll start swinging it around and, maybe hit someone with it. That's just my mentality as a kid. Just absolutely dumb as fuck. There you go. Oh, this next one. Right. Tamagotchis, right? How the fuck Tamagotchis ever became popular, I don't understand. Because at the same time, like I remember having my Game Boy. I don't know if it was the Game Boy Color or the original one, but I remember having the Game Boy at the same time because my sister would, in like car journeys, she would play with her Tamagotchi whilst I was playing my Game Boy. And as far as I could tell, you could feed it, and sometimes it would shit. And then you'd have to clear up the shit and like you interact with the Tamagotchi in certain ways. And I'm like, that seems like a burden, not fun. Like, I don't get how Tamagotchis were ever fun. Like, I'm sat there catching fucking Pokemon, leveling up my fucking Squirtle, evolving him into eventually a fucking Blastoise. You know what I mean? And she's there cleaning up virtual shit from her Tamagotchi. It's like, oh yeah, that's great. That's fantastic. George, show me again? Yeah, because maybe I don't understand why cleaning up a Tamagotchi shit is fun and feeding it is fun. It's like having a fucking dog, but without the emotional connection. Without the physical connection to a dog. You can play fetch with a dog, and sometimes the dog shits after you eat it. Eat it? After you feed it? Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. I've never eaten a dog, I promise. Try it, maybe. I don't know. One day. Yeah, Tamagotchis. Just I don't know why. I just don't understand how they ever became popular to like play with. I know they might have just been like a fad thing that people bought into. It's like, oh, if you got a Tamagotchi, I'll go home. Mum, I need a Tamagotchi. My best mate's got one. But yeah, Tamagotchis. I do remember my sister had a few of them, I think, in the end. Yeah. Just, again, I don't understand. I don't really fully understand a Tamagotchi. If there's anyone out there who had Tamagotchis and knows a lot about them and is willing to try and persuade me that they were actually cool and worthwhile getting, feel free to try so. But yeah, not a great toy in my opinion. Crayola stamper markers. No. I didn't have these because I wasn't creative enough. Again, when I get a pen, I just scribble on shit. Not artistic at all. But I remember my sister had these. It's almost like it's like a stamp. It's literally just a stamp. It had like loads of different patterns. This one has got like a footprint, a paw print, stars, flowers, smiley faces, love hearts, and you use it like a stamp. And that was it. For me, I wasn't that creative. Shit toy. Because all I'd want to do is just stamp shit like once or twice. It works. I'm then bored. But yeah, I do remember these. It does bring back some memories of my sister doing like more creative stuff because she's the more creative one, artistic wise. But yeah, just overall for me, shit toy because they're not really a toy. They're just a pen that you can't write with. But if you try to write with it, it looks like you're joining up an entire foot. You know, just writing with a foot stamp. It's just shit. Just shit. Pogs. Never ever had Pogs in my day. I had the poppers, which I think are further on this list. You know, the ones where you'd like turn it inside out, and then they, after a few seconds, will like fly up into the air. But I didn't have Pogs. Pogs, I don't really know what they are. Are they just like collectible discs? They look like a badge without a needle on the back, without a safety pin on the back, basically. But yeah, again, if you collected Pogs or if you're a massive Pogs fan, I don't know if Dan had Pogs. I know we've talked about it a couple of times. Again, I don't know if it was on a podcast episode. I'm sure it was, but yeah, I'm almost certain he's talked about either having Pogs or liking Pogs. Yeah, not just, I don't know, like there's certain things that you just look at and go, are they really a toy? But then I can see on here there are Simpsons ones with like characters on it from the Simpsons. So they're just collectible things, I think. I don't actually think they have a function. Maybe can you play Pogs? Let us know in the comments. If you played Pogs before, you understand them, let us know. Or are they just collectible things? There's a lot of different patterns and stuff. There's a few Simpsons characters I can see. I think there's a Power Ranger one in there. So yeah, I think they're just collectible things. Which, to be fair, I collect Pokemon cards for exactly the same reason. I don't know how to play Pokemon. I also collected Yu-Gi-Oh cards very, very briefly. Again, a game I never ever played and still don't understand how to play today. And even now, as I sit here 30 years old, I was literally contemplating spending like 50 quid the other day on Magic the Gathering cards because they had Fallout versions. And I was like, no, don't do that. They're cool. They look fucking sick, but you don't know how to play it. So you just have them for the art on there. That's all you would have them for. So, yeah, I mean, I get it now. I get it. Slinkies. Oh, my God. That was... I just remember being at the top of my stairs and just... It must have been 3 hours. Because I remember I'd literally... It must have been 3-4 hours. I just had lunch, right? I remember this. I don't remember the exact day. Must have been a weekend. Unless I bunked off school and my mum was making me lunch randomly. I don't know. But yeah, I remember getting a Slinky and being absolutely fucking stoked. And I went to the top of the stairs after lunch and I just started fucking letting rip with this Slinky down the stairs. And I must have been there for several hours because I was there until my mum called me for tea. Like, she came and got me to go and sit at the table for tea. And I was just playing with the Slinky the entire time in between. Like, I think my mind just went to a different place and just a different realm where Slinky was the only thing in life that mattered. Watching it tumble down the stairs and then going down the stairs, walking back up the stairs and repeating the process for like 3+ hours. That was the goal, the big picture of life for me back then. There's something mesmerising about watching a slinky go downstairs. Still to this day. This is why I think I'm like borderline, fucked in the head. Like, that shouldn't be that way. You should watch it and go, oh, that's cool, one time. But then you just get sucked in to just watching a slinky go down the stairs over and over and over again. So, yeah. That's basically why I think I'm retarded. Thanks, Mum. So that I'm blaming my retardation on a slinky. That's my story. But great toy. Koosh balls. Now, I don't remember being called koosh, so this might be an American thing. Basically, they're what do you call it? They're a rubber ball, like a really stretchy rubber ball, but it has like strands of rubber that look like hairs that come off them, and you can like stretch the hairs or the strings is probably a better way of describing it. But yeah, you used to be able to like hold on to like a few of them and like bounce it backwards and forwards to yourself, and like basically hit yourself in the face if you weren't too careful. But I don't really remember spending a lot of time with the toy. Again, me being as uncreative as I am, I would literally just thrash it around for about a minute, see what damage I could do, and then fuck off to something else. That is basically it. But yeah, let us know if you had one of them. Troll dolls. Oh my fucking god. How the fuck did these things ever become a toy? These are up there. I don't know. I know Furbies are on this list. Furbies is different level. Furbies is like... The person who created Furbies, I am convinced, must have been a red dot on a map. I'm sorry. I will go into that later when we come up with Furbies. But troll dolls. How anyone's looked at a creation or a sketch or a prototype they've made of a troll doll and gone, that's going to catch on. You need to analyse the brain. Because, to me, troll dolls look horrific. Like, they look like a fucking Gollum mixed with a child with a fucking LGBTQ plus hairdo. Do you know what I mean? Maybe they were being inclusive before it was cool. I don't know. But it's just, what are they for? What do you do with them? Is it just the hair? Is that what people do? Comb the hair, fucking make it into like weird patterns? Get different weird clothes for them? I mean, I remember, I don't know why, I never asked for it, but I remember having like a troll doll pencil topper. It would go on the end of your pencil. No function. The hair wasn't a rubber. You couldn't erase shit. It was just a troll doll on the end of a pencil. That's all I know. Anyone want to give me any update on how that was useful or what the troll dolls were actually used for? Or how you played with them, besides what they've already talked about? Let me know. Because for me, trash. I don't understand how that was a fucking toy. Don't understand it. This I've never seen in my life, but I will be absolutely fucking off my tits playing this. It looks like a kind of like a scaled down version of the like driving games you see at arcades, where you've got obviously the screen, you sit in the racing seat, you've got the steering wheel, the gear selector, but this one's got like indicators on it. It's got fucking a key to start the engine. It's basically just like the steering wheel and a screen with like a gear shift, indicators, and a key on it. And it's clearly American because it's got the sort of automatic gearbox it looks like, and with the selector lever that that American vehicles have. But yeah, I mean, I would have fucking give that a go when I was a kid. 100%. Fuck it, I'll still play it now. Fuck it. Let us know if you ever had one of them. Any American people, let us know. Stretch Armstrong. I never had one, but I did play with a couple of my mates once. Interesting to know that on this article they've put a picture of Stretch Armstrong and someone's platted his 2 legs and his left arm. I mean, if that's what you need to do to practice platting, go for it. But I mean, it looks horrific. But yeah, Stretch Armstrongs were cool because they're just stretchy, innit? You know, just got your mate, you pulled one side, he pulled the other. You're like, oh, that's fucking sick. It does exactly what Stretch Armstrong does. He stretches. Right, what do you want to do with it now? Okay, let's burn it. Yeah, I didn't burn it. I didn't burn it because it wasn't mine. I wasn't like that. But yeah, it's Stretch Armstrongs were cool, but I'm very, very aware that they had one. They were like, you know, a one-trick pony. They stretched, and you could like, you know, stretch it for a long distance. And you'd be like, whoa, look how far it stretches, bro. And that was it. You don't really... that's all you needed as a kid. Get something that unfathomably stretches far. That's it. That's all you need. That's all you need. Mousetrap, absolutely elite board game. Elite. I will have no other descriptions of this game other than elite. What a sick game. What a sick game. It's still sold today, Mousetrap. I've played Mousetrap with, I think I played it probably towards the end of last year with some family members. It's still a great game. It really is because, you know, you see the action. It's like, oh, it's not imaginary. You can see it in front of you. Your mouse actually gets trapped. You know, things move. Balls are going round. It's just a good time. It's a great board game. I do rate Mousetrap. And if you have got any, you know, you want to throw any shade at Mousetrap, go fuck yourself, as far as I'm concerned. Great fucking board game. Great board game. I don't remember this clear plastic phone. I don't think my sister had one of these as far as I can remember. Definitely not really marketed towards a boy of my generation. So yeah, that's as far as I can wear. It's just a fake phone. You can pretend to have conversations on it. Now the Magic Ball and Mitt game, although I don't think it was actually called that. I just called it like, you know, Velcro ball or some shit like that. Essentially, you got like a pad with Velcro on it, and then whoever you are playing with also has the same disc with Velcro on it, and you throw each other a ball that sticks to the Velcro. And you like, the challenge was, again, me being as basic and as like Neanderthal as a kid can be, the challenge was to throw it as hard as you possibly could at the person, and then they deal with the consequences. You know, if they're not quick enough, if the ball hits them in the face and they didn't cover their face with the Velcro mitt, that's their problem. You know? If you threw it at their groin and they weren't quick enough, that's their problem. Improvise, adapt, and overcome. That's what you got to do. But yeah, throw it as hard as you possibly can and see if it sticks to the Velcro mitt. That was quite a cool game. That was quite a cool game, to be fair. It's one that you've got to have 2 players. Well, you don't really have to. You could set if you were that lonely, you could set the disc up on like a pole or something and just throw the ball continuously at it. It does seem quite boring after a while, though. But yeah, that was the bonus of having a sibling. Because you could be like, right, I'm going to play this game. It's really cool. We'll start off really like slow and, you know, we'll get the hang of it. And then, you know, you say, right, I'll throw first. But I want you to be able to, like, you know, see what happens. So I'll throw first. And then in your mind, you're like, I will throw this as hard as I possibly humanly can. And that's what you did. That's what you did. Great game. Do rate it. Monster Finger Puppets. I do remember these. They were fucked up. They still look fucked up right now. Why the fuck? That again, you look at stuff from your childhood, right? Toys, games, even some clothes. And you're like, why the fuck was there ever a thing that people paid money for? And Monster Finger Puppets are up there with that. I mean, they look horrific. The eyes are odd shaped. The paint, like the color of the eyes is like bleeds into the eyebrows and the structure of the face. The tongue is a small strip of red paint. The teeth look awful. It just looks like a nightmarish thing to buy your child and to them have them play with. But they're on the list, so, you know, people must have good memories of them. I mean, again, what do you even do with them? Do you just like play? Do you like make some sort of fucking production? Like some sort of, you know, theater production of Monster Finger Puppets. I don't know. It's fucking weird. Fucking weird. Simon Says. Great game. Simple. Like, very much like, I think I prefer Bop It. I feel like Bop It is a different evolution of the Simon Says game, because Bop It, you don't just tap. You have to, like, you know, you twist, you pull, you push it. There's a lot of more elements involved with Bop It. Great game. Great game. Infuriating. Great game. But yeah, it's I can't really knock Simon Says or Bop It. Bop It for me is superior because of the reason I just explained. But yeah, it's I don't want to start any beef with people who are Simon Says purists, but you know, get yourself a Bop It, you'll understand. This I didn't actually remember even having these until I looked at this this article. Fuck, man, these bring back some memories. These are great. Because if you're like me as a kid and you couldn't make a paper airplane for living shit, these are great. They're made out of foam. They're pre-cut, and you just have to slot them together, and you put like a plastic propeller on the end. And you'd throw it, and they'd just fucking go for days. Because they're so light. It's really fun to just watch them fly. And they did actually, if you like threw it properly and you made it, and you didn't put the fucking wings on backwards, like I'm pretty sure I've probably done a few times, and then wondered, why isn't it fucking working, Mum? It's not flying. Yes, because you put the rudders at the fucking front, you twat. But anyway, they're great. They're great. But it's such a memory unlocked scenario because I just totally forgot that these even existed. Great things. I want to buy another one right now just to fucking fly it. This is what nostalgia is. I don't have a fucking clue what this is. What is this? It looks like Playmobil described down the phone to someone. I've never actually seen that. It's got Fisher Price on the side. It's some sort of plane with some Playmobil looking motherfuckers in it. Yeah, that's all I can say. Again, it might be an American thing. Rubber poppers, I said about this earlier on when we were talking about Pogs. These are the things that I had. They're not really similar to Pogs. I don't know why I talked about them at the same time as I did Pogs. But yeah, these were the things that you like turn inside out and then put on like a flat surface and they'd fucking fly up in the air. Rate them very much. Love them. What the neon clickers clackers? I do vaguely remember these. You had it on like a handle, and they had oscillating, balls on the end of like plastic bits that were secured to the handle, and you like moved it backwards and forwards, and they'd rotate round and hit each other and make like a knocking noise. That's it. Again, one trick pony. That's all you need. Get a toy that does one thing and does it well, you got a fucking product, mate. You got a product. Oh my god, these things. I think we've talked about these before, like the little plastic tubes filled with like water and like fish inside, and you try to grab the bottom and it shoots out of your hand. You try to grab it further up, you end up like fucking juggling it. Again, I don't even know who the fuck came up with the idea. How the fuck do you even come up with that idea? But it did well, because I'm looking at a picture of Finding Dory branded one. So they've been around for a fucking hot minute. So, successful. I ain't really got much memories of playing with it, because it's like again, it's if you're gonna make a toy or game that does one thing and one thing only, and the thing that this one does is make it difficult to handle, and that's the entire premise, for me, shit game. Can you imagine me trying to play a Game Boy if it was that? Like, fucking, I want to play the Game Boy. I don't want to have to try and, fucking masturbate this fucking shitty tube. Don't know why I said masturbate, but it's just it. It just came into the head. It's a weird fucking toy. It's weird. It's just shit. I've done a completely 160. 160? 180. I'm just making up new fucking terms now. Yeah, I've done a 180 on it. Don't like it. Weird toy. Skip it. I have absolutely no fucking idea what this is. A string attached to a hoop with a ball. It looks like it's got some sort of timer or counter on it. Not a fucking clue. Perfection. This was a game I looked at and went, I've never ever seen this before in my life. I don't know. Anyone who played Perfection or knows what the fuck Perfection is, let us know. Silly Putty. I think everyone's had one of them where you can fucking make it fart. I'm assuming that one. I might be wrong, but you can make it into shit as well. Look, I was a juvenile kid, I'm not making shit. If it makes a fart noise, that's the fucking job it has. That's what it has. Oh, Fisher Price adjustable skates. Definitely wouldn't have had these. My sister might have done. She did like skating. I hated it because I would spend the entire time on the floor. I had the balance of a newly born gazelle, and I still do. I've got shit balance. I'm not going to shy away from that. I could have tried to improve it, I guess, but I've now, like, this next one, Lego Ghost from the 90s, glows in the dark. Never seen it before. It looks quite cool. I mean, it's very evidently a piece of Lego just because the arms and the hands, but if it didn't have the arms and the hands, you wouldn't be able to tell it's a bit of Lego, in my opinion. I do remember these, but I don't know if I remember them when I was a kid or remember seeing them when I was on the way to being an adult. I don't remember. But they are McDonald's toys that were shaped and made to look like McDonald's menu items. So they got what I think would be like an ice cream or a McFlurry with some fucking weird ass looking character that transforms from the original, what looks like an ice cream. You got a chicken McNuggets box that looks like some sort of crocodile looking twat, and you got the drinks cup with a straw poking out the top that turns into a Professor Zeus. Is it Professor? No, Professor Zoidberg looking twat. Obviously, I'm guessing this is pre-Futurama, but yeah, it is what it is. I don't really know if that'd fly with kids right now. It's like, oh well, that's a bit shit. But they do. I would definitely recommend that McDonald's start bringing back like good fucking toys. Not saying that kids should eat McDonald's. You really shouldn't. You really fucking shouldn't. But maybe if you want to bring back a little bit of the kids, or maybe even the adults, right? I reckon you get adult sales of Happy Meals would go through the roof if you brought back good toys. There you go. Have that for free, McDonald's. I know you've probably already thought about it. You've already probably consulted on it about 50,000 times. But I will put that as my input to your company. Glittery sand lizards. I do remember these. My sister had a few of them. Again, only use I ever had them was to lob them over a fence and then claim that I never did it. Garfield phones. Never seen one before. That's hideous. I guess if you really love Garfield, that's the phone for you. Sesame Street and Disney Poppin' Pals. What the fuck are these? You've got the face of Disney characters and Sesame Street characters lined up next to each other. And they've got like little dials and fucking buttons at the bottom. I don't know. Do they like, is it like fucking, what's it called? What is that fucking game called? It was sick. And I can't remember it. It was like a barrel. Was it Pop-Up Pirate? That was cool. Like you stick swords into it. It was like the similar sort of premise as Buckaroo. But you stick swords inside the barrel and then the fucking pirate would pop up when you stabbed him too much. I don't know. Maybe that's it. Kinder Surprise toys. I mean, me being the fat little bastard I was and still am, I didn't really give a fuck about the toys. You know, I wanted a fucking Kinder Egg. You know, I like the people who are complete reverse. They don't give a fuck about the Kinder Egg, just want the toy. But I was one for the Kinder Egg. Give me the Kinder Egg. I don't give a fuck what the toy is. But there were some pretty cool toys. None of them here that I've ever seen before. But again, it might have been before my my addiction to Kinder Eggs. Play-Doh, classic. I think everyone's played with Play-Doh. Can't really say any much more about it, really. I'm not very creative. I just make a blob that looks vaguely like something that could be called human and then go from there. Water pistols. I had a lot of fun with water pistols. I never had a super soaker. I don't know if that's like an American thing, but yeah, I had a lot of water pistols growing up and just basically pissed the fuck out of everyone. That's funny when I squirt it with water, and my mum's just like looking at me going, I should have had you aborted. And that is literally what would have gone through her mind. A Viewmaster, but a Mickey Mouse Viewmaster. So Viewmaster's made it twice on this list. Oh, memory unlocked. I hadn't even seen this one. Micro Machines. These were sick because this was like a big vehicle that folded out into like a city where you could like move your vehicles through. Like got Hot Wheels and put them on the track and you move them through. Mine was like a military one, I'm pretty sure. And it had like tanks and fucking Humvee vehicles in it. It was cool. And it's also just unlocked a tragic memory. I remember I was so happy one evening that I could play with my Micro Machines late on before bed, right? And I went upstairs to my room to get it, and I was coming down the stairs and I slipped on like the second from the first step at the top, and I fucking smacked my ass like bumping down every fucking stair, every step of the stairs, and my Micro Machines just fucking scattered everywhere, like the one of the flaps that made up the big vehicle that had broken. So it was never the same again. Sad times. R.I.P. Micro Machines. Great though. Brilliant. Oh, that's like the final form. It's a big truck. When you open it up, it turns into a cityscape inside that you can move vehicles around. They're fucking sick, man. Easy bake oven. I've seen them before. I've never seen one like working. I think one of my friend's sisters had one growing up, and my sister never had one. But again, I don't think they were a 90s thing. I think they were pre-90s, so it must have been an old one. But yeah. Slime. Everyone's fucking had slime. Let's behave. Don't be like that. Glittery magic wands. That is a useless toy. What a fucking... Whoever came up with them probably did alright out of it. But yeah, just a shit toy, really. Shit toy. I don't remember. I remember this, but I don't remember it being called Marble Works. It's basically like a set of tubes that you set up, and you have a ball that starts at the top, goes around like this circuit, drops into another tube, then goes along, or smack my mic like a twat, and just continually goes down the tube until it falls to the floor, basically. You could create a load of weird sort of circuit contraption thing that the ball would journey its way through. But I don't remember it being called Marble Works. Maybe, again, American things, I don't know. Right, we're going to end on this absolute monstrosity of a fucking creation. Furbies, right? I'm convinced that these things were made to unsettle every single possible human that had an interaction with it. Because I remember my sister had a couple of these. And not only, again, is it a toy that I don't understand what the function is, what the shtick is with the toy. Is it just to look after it? Do you just communicate with it? Does it become your best friend, then haunt your fucking life? Because that seems to me the only real use or plus point of a Furby is that it gives kids who have no fucking friends, and this isn't a slight against kids who don't have friends. It's a sad situation, and it shouldn't be the case. But there are kids without friends. I mean, fucking hell, there are humans. There are fucking grown-ups without friends. But if you have a Furby and you're grown up, I reckon that hard drive is full of stuff that it shouldn't be full with. Let's leave it at that. But anyway, if you had these as a kid and you communicated with it and you started a friendship with it, it honestly would not surprise me if demons existed, and if we lived in a world where, you know, ghosts, poltergeists, demons existed, I would 100% guarantee a demon would take the form of a Furby. I would genuinely believe that they are demons. Because just look at them. Look at their fucking gormless, just unsettling face. They've got a beak. They're furry. They've got eyes almost the size of human eyes. Probably a little bit bigger, actually. Depends on, you know, maybe this photo is blown up. They've got eyelids that function, but weird. They close at a weird rate. They're very slow. It's like a slow blink. You know, like the slow blink cats do to you when they're trying to communicate that they like you, and then they're not about to, you know, scratch the fuck out of you. But it's all eyes because they just do it anyway. But yeah, it's just unsettling. Everything about a Furby is unsettling. Like, the ears are massive. Why are they so big? Why is there a fucking tuft of hair between their ears at the top of their head? Why? It seems like whoever made this has tried to make it as unsettling as it possibly can be without alerting suspicion to parents who would buy it without knowing there's an actual demon inside. I remember the reason why I feel so strongly about Furbies is because I'm fucking scared. I'm legit unsettled and scared by Furbies just because of my childhood, right? I wasn't fucked by a Furby, all right? Don't fucking go there. But I remember my kid, fuck's sake. I remember when I was a kid, my sister had a couple of Furbies. And they would, I want to say they malfunctioned. That's what I want to say. Is because they would communicate, because she had two, there was a point in time where they would communicate with each other because they thought my sister was talking to them. And it would do it at night. And if I was ever going past, like, her room and it was open at night and I heard the Furby talk, I cannot tell you how fast, even as a fat kid, how fast I would literally yeet down the stairs. Like, no. My mum went up, asked me to go up and get something. Oh, can you just go and get this upstairs? I'll get up to the top of the stairs and I'll just wait down this dark corridor. Turn the light on. Nothing there. All going well so far. I take a couple of steps. I can see my sister's room's on the left. The apprehension, the suspicion grows. The anxiety coursing through my veins. And then I hear Furby fucking chatting bollocks. And then I hear another Furby responding to that Furby. They're communicating. And then I turn round. I bolt downstairs. My mum has a go at me for not getting the thing that she asked me to go and get. So I have to go back up. And it's just a cycle of fucking shit, right? Because I don't want to get caught in the crossfire of some Furby gang war. I don't want to get caught in, a situation where the Furbies have teamed up and then starting to fucking fuck with me. You know what I mean? Furbies should be completely and utterly eradicated from the world. That's it. It might be too strong, but for me, the Furbies can go fuck themselves. And anyone who supports the Furby cause, go fuck yourself. I mean, fear unlocked. Memories unlocked. That's something I'll never forget. Jesus. Furbies are rank. Why has it got a beak? What, is it a bird? Is it a fucking humanoid bird? Who made a fucking Furby? Jesus Christ. Anyway, I think that's enough. That is enough. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. Thanks for listening and thanks for watching wherever you are doing so from. I hope you have a good day. And I'll see you in the next one. Up the APMA. Bye-bye for now. Fear unlocked. See ya.